Hi, and welcome to the next help video in our series. This help video is to deal with the news options under Site Options. To access the news options area, just log into Element, go to the Administration section under the main menu, choose Sites, choose the site that you want to change the news options for, and then choose the site options at the bottom bar. Once you get there, you'll see lots of different site options that you can employ. We're dealing with the news options, so we click on News Options. That pulls up a new window. This window has a lot of different features and options that are pertaining to just your news section of your site. The first thing that we want to take a look at is the page display name. This name is what's used throughout Element to identify the news area as well as what is going to be on your particular website. You'll see right up there that it says news, and also it will do the same. That page description is also put in any kind of news listing that you might have on any of your other pages. So if we want to modify that, and let's say we don't want to call it news, but we want to refer to it as latest news, we could change that page name, click on Save. You'll see that it changes it up here for this box, and it will change it throughout Element. As you go into that now, you'll see latest news options instead of just news options. Now if we look at the site itself, it's going to change. Anywhere where it said news before, it will now say latest news, including the actual news page or news listing page itself will now be latest news. The next item here is the parent page, and most pages fall underneath the home page, which is we've got it titled as welcome, as the welcome page. And of course, with any of our other modules, if you click on the icon to the right of the field, you'll get a more detailed description of what that field is used for. In this particular case, on the page name, it talks a little bit about SEO, the search engine optimization, and how it will help perform those duties for you as well. Under the custom banner section, this allows you to have a custom banner that's specifically for that particular page. As you see here, we're using our default banner for the news page, which is the same banner that we have for the home page and several of the other pages. If we wanted to change this banner across the top to be something that was designated strictly for news, we could always upload a custom banner. The banner size dimensions are listed next to the upload button so that you know what size the image needs to be. You can also point to an image file or a flash movie that you've uploaded using multimedia files just by putting in the URL that points to that file that you've uploaded. So in this case, we do resources, images, and then maybe news banner.jpg. If we had uploaded an image to that directory that we wanted to use. In this case, we'll go ahead and do an example, and we'll just use the upload. We'll choose a banner file that we want to use. So let's just choose this T2 banner here. It uploads it for us. Now when I go and I reload this page, we'll see that banner image is what's used. Of course, that banner image wasn't of the proper size, so it skewed it so that it would fit into the proper area. So it's very important that you make sure that that your banner, the image that you've created, is of that dimension, so that it doesn't get skewed. I've removed the custom banner that we uploaded, and now we'll see that it defaults back to the default banner for this site. Because it doesn't have any custom banner associated to it. The next thing we look at is the status access area. What this does is it allows you to change the status of the page. You can place it under construction or offline. If we place it under construction and click on Save, when we go back to that page, we're going to see that that page is currently under construction. If we took it offline, it will display the same thing, but with an offline banner as opposed to an under construction banner. This will allow you to make modifications to the page if you need to, if you don't want anybody to see the content at that current time while you're still adding lots of news articles or whatever feature or function you'd want to perform that for. And of course, those page statuses can always be modified to look and be represented however you want under the status pages options, where you can go in and set the under construction page content, you can set the offline page content, and those are fully editable, and you can choose it to look and have whatever imagery you want. As for the access levels, what this does is it actually restricts the page down to login levels. So if you wanted a news section of your website to be restricted to people that have registered to your site and that you've given access to, you would set a particular access level for that individual to have in order to be able to see that news page. You can have up to 10 different access levels, and these access levels can be named by you, as we've done here: common, bronze, silver, gold, platinum. And then the other, the remaining 5 we just didn't give a name to, so they're just 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can adjust those access levels and change their capabilities under member options. And we'll go further into this in another help video that will explain member options. But as you can see, we've given common names to those access levels. So if we were to set this to a bronze access level and we click on Save, when we try to go to this news page, we're going to get the page's content as protected. And if you want to be able to view it, you got to register or log in. You've got register and login buttons that are automatically given to you in the upper right-hand corner, or depending on your template, they can be built into anywhere that you would want those registration and login buttons to go. The user can click on register. He can fill out the registration form, and of course these registration forms are fully customizable. You can ask for all kinds of other different kinds of questions that you would be interested in having. Once the user registers, they can go in and log in. Once they log in, this page right here will be refreshed, and it will show them the content of the page if they have the correct access levels. So that's what access level does for us. It allows us to do security features for the page. I've turned that back off again to open, so it means that any visitor that comes to the site can see that page. Under the linking section, we have show breadcrumbs, which breadcrumbs are not available in all templates, but some templates are made with breadcrumbs built into them. What breadcrumbs are little links that come across the top to tell you how far you've drilled into the website. This particular template doesn't have breadcrumbs, so it really doesn't matter if it's checked or not. Display and sitemap, what that does is it actually puts the news link into the sitemap of the page automatically for you. So we see under main site, we'll see latest news, stay up to date with Molecular Software's latest news. If I was to turn that off and save it, we'll see that that link goes away. There's no longer a latest news link in the sitemap. So that gives you control of what's showing up in your sitemap. Place link in footer. What that does for you is at the bottom of the page of every page within your site is a foot map, and this could be located here or down below. It can be located anywhere down in the footer area. So right now we notice that latest news is not one of these links. If we wanted to have that be one of the links. We just click on that, check that, click on save, and we'll notice now that latest news is in the footer links. And of course, it's using that same name, latest news, is what it's going to use is whatever you have in the page name field. So let's go ahead and take that back out of the footer. RSS feeds. You automatically have with all of your pages, all of your news, blogs, events, everything. You can have them automatically added to your RSS feed page. And what this is it will allow people to subscribe to your syndications. And in this case, we see latest news, stay up to date, and we have two different categories here. We have an all category and an element category, and within the news module, you'll see where you can add categories and have as many categories as you want, so that it sections those out, so that somebody could subscribe to just a category for, an element category or whatever category you have, or they could subscribe to all your news. So adding it to the RSS feed is done here. If we turn that off and save it, we'll notice now that we no longer have news. We just have the other things that we've indicated that we want to have in the RSS feed. Let's turn that back on again and make sure it shows back up in the list. Okay. Now let's go over to personalized page column content. This is where you can personalize the page's content and the columns that surround it. And what we mean by that is if we go back to the news page again, the news listing page is what we're discussing when we're talking about the personalized page column content, and not necessarily the listings. These are just extra listings that can be put on pages that you can use that can link over to the listing page itself. So in this personalized page, we can add a top column, we can add left columns, right columns, bottom columns, and these are the widths of the left and the right. The top and the bottom don't have widths or heights on them. They're just they're full size or as tall as you want the content to be. So if we put some content in the left column, it's when we click on the left button, it's going to open up the left column content editor. And within here, we can put whatever content we want. So, if this is a test, and click on publish, if we refresh this page, we're going to see that it moves everything over and it puts that content in that left column. It creates a left column for you. This left column can contain pictures, images, tables, whatever you would want to have displayed in that left column. If there's no content in the left column, it will disappear, or you can hide it. And the reason you might want to hide it is if you have default left column content for your entire site but don't want it on this page, you would want to hide that column. And let's go ahead and give you an example of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close out of the latest news options, and I'm going to go down to the default columns. If I have content in this default left column, so if I put left column, or any text, images, anything I want to put there, click on publish. What we're going to see is that we have left column, and it's now on every page. It's throughout the entire site, it's going to show that left column. And that's because it's the default for the entire site. But let's say that on my news page, you can see how it pushes everything over because of the size of that column. But let's say on my news page, I don't want to have that content displayed. So what I'm going to do is back here at my latest news options again, I'm going to go down and I'm going to hide just the column on my news page. So now on my news page it's hidden, but all the other pages it's still there. So it's a default left column, but I've gotten rid of it for my news page and my news page only. Now let's go in and put that column, that left column, default left column, back to nothing again, so that the left column will disappear on all of the other pages. And now we should be back to what we had before when we started. Okay. So now let's go and take a look at page description. All of those columns work in the same manner, the left, top, right, and bottom. Page description, however, is what's going to be placed right up here. This content up here. So you can have some, boilerplate content, or you can describe something about this page by clicking on page description and putting in content here. We also have the ability to change the name of this page, latest news, or we can actually say current news. And it's still classified as latest news throughout the rest of the site, but we can put whatever header we want right there. This is a test. And then I can even take and make this a H1 tag, click on publish. Now what you're going to see is this section right here will no longer say latest news, it'll say current news, and then it'll have this is a test underneath. So you have this is full content. You can do whatever you want to. There's a full page of information. You can put imagery in here, videos in here. You can put an address in here to have a map be displayed. You can do whatever you want to with this page description. If you take all of the content out of the page description and bring it back to its normal state, then if it has nothing in it, and make sure that it's all empty, that will go away and it'll go back to latest news again. Okay, let's move over to news options. News options allows three different things: automatically archive in so many days, days to remain in archive, and your article's date sort order. Automatically archive in, what this is a feature built into Element that is kind of a fire and forget. It's one of these, when I create this news article, 180 days from now, I want Element to automatically archive that news article. Element will send out an email, and it will to the poster of the news article, and it'll explain that within 48 hours this news article will be archived. Then, once it moves into archive, how many days should it remain in archive before it's deleted from the system entirely? So once it hits archive, 180 days into the news article, then 365 days later it'll be removed. Again, an email will be sent to the poster of the news article 2 days prior to it actually being removed, and it will inform them that that news article is going to be removed. You can set these values way out into the future, to 1,000 days in the future, or whatever setting you want. The article date sort, right now this is sorted descending order, and that's by date. So August 2nd, July 23rd, July 13th. If we wanted to reverse that order, we just select ascending, refresh that, and we're going to see that it's now April 26th, June 9th, July 13th. So that's just a preference on how you want to sort your news articles in the listing. Search engine optimization, this will benefit you when it comes to being indexed by Google and Yahoo and Bing and all the other big search engines by allowing you to enter in SEO titles, SEO sitemap page descriptions, search keywords. This is where all the meta tags come in and all that for the news article page itself. So, and this will also show up in the, if somebody goes to bookmark it and things of this nature. So this is a great benefit when it comes to search engine optimization. Of course, you'll see below that it's recommended that you have under 72 characters for the SEO title. We're currently at 79. But as you type, as you put new things in, you'll see that number increase down below. So it's telling you how many more characters you had before you start breaking what is the common rule. Same thing applies with the SEO map page description. As you click on these, the box will grow, so you have a little bit more room to work in. Again, if you have any questions, any further questions with this module, you can always, from the site's module, help, we'll pull up a PDF, which, of course, lists all the different options that you have, and the news is one of those options. You click on that, go down and read more detailed information about each of those field inputs and how these things work. That concludes the news options. Thank you very much.